Good day, sisters and brothers of Local2627. This is Robert Ajay, the president, and today is Monday, November 22nd, 2010. And let me give you a couple of things that's going on this week, and also a couple of things I think you should be concerned about, or the way you should handle business. One thing I'd like to say is when you're dealing with people from another agency or agency that you need information or your health benefits, pension, even DCAS when it comes to exams, after you introduce yourself, you should always find out who you're dealing with. What I'm saying is you should always ask them what their names are. For this reason, there's a little bit of accountability by that person on the other side of the phone. Sometimes you start talking to them, they give you information, they really don't care about how they get the information, but they're careful about what kind of information they give you if you find out what their names are. And then, of course, we can also use that later on if we have to talk to people over there again. Well, this information was given to our member by so and so and so. So we have some type of accountability. Another thing is if you have documentations that have to go to one of these agencies, whether it's for your pension or whether it's for DCAS in particular, always send it certified mail. Always. Or ask for return receipt. This way you can track and that you can prove that they actually got it. Because there's been a couple of cases where members have said that they filed appeals and things like that, and there's no record anyplace. So we need to have some type of record, or you need to have some type of record to prove that you actually had this transaction that you're claiming to have. I'm pleased to say that our first member has passed a course from enterprise training in Java, and the member happens to be from TRS, and it's good news. I mean, we see somebody who's taking the heads up. You better get prepared for June 30th because that's when Citytime moves out. Now, speaking of Citytime, in this month's PEP, the October-November PEP, when you open up the page, there's a whole page on the whole PEP contracting out with Citytime to give you more details on what's expected from the company SAIC by the end of their contract. Another thing I'd like to mention is standby time. Now, I'm not going to mention the agency, and I'm not going to mention the members, but I just wanted to give you, I always like to remind people how management could be. According to our contract, and the contract, as you know, that there's always addendums added to the contract because basically the language of the contract never changes. But the little addendums may be things like for example, the salary change or a differential change or maybe a vacation day, but basically everything else stands the way it was originally. Now, in the last contract that we generally use is 95 to 2001. Now, at one of the agencies, one of the commissioners, assistant commissioners, is refusing to pay members standby, even though he's asking them to stand by and he has to call them in. He expects them to call in. He expects them to come in and do our work. Now, the problem with that is the commissioner is saying that because the contract says standing by at home. Now, I cannot get into this commissioner's mind that standing at home was something from, and so I asked the commissioner, I said, did you have a cell phone in 95, between 95 and 2001? Of course, the answer was no. Most people didn't. Now, in my case, I happen to have a cell phone from 1981, believe it or not, but I was a tractor-trailer driver back in those days. But anyway, to get back to the point was, no one used cell phones back then, basically. So when you were called for a job, or when you were expected to be called back to work, you had to be sitting in your house waiting for a phone call. So this commissioner is taking it too literal. So now we have to file a grievance because I cannot get into this commissioner's mind that home was just a general statement that he's taking it too literal. Because as long as you're in a reasonable distance, meaning that you didn't leave the country or you didn't leave the city, that you can respond to work, say, within 60 minutes, that qualifies as home because you're carrying around a telephone device. But anyway, just to remind you how management can be, how hard-headed they can be. Another thing that a member was asking that I should mention to you, and it's about the transit benefit, the commuter benefits program. Now, on our website, we're going to put a link to the commuter benefits program, and there's going to be basically 4 areas that you can look at. It's going to be available for people who use MTA, New York City Transit, Long Island Railroad, and the Metro North. It's also going to be used for New Jersey Transit, the PATH, and the New York Waterway, and also paratransit, accessoride, and also parking near work. As far as you have to have that commuter connection with the parking lot and things like that. So it's very It's a very good benefit. Like I'm saying, we're going to have the four different items on our webpage, and you'll be able to link to them and read them. We're scanning them in as we speak. One other item I have to put on my glasses to read to you is excuse time with no charge to your leave balances. Now, at the discretion of the agency head, permanent, provisional, or temporary full-time employees who submit documentation satisfactory to the agency head may participate in the following without a charge to their leave balances: New York City service promotions and open competitive exams, examinations for licenses which are required for performance of the employee's duties or for eligibility to take a promotional exam, official investigations or appointment interviews regarding appointments from eligibility lists and resulting from these examinations, teacher examinations, or official investigations and appointments interviews given by the New York City Board of Education. These are things that a lot of people don't know what they can be excused for if they need to go take an exam or something of that sort. And I just think that I just thought that you might want to be aware of that. And of course, for any further details about that, any help with dealing with management about that, give this office a call. And of course, everybody knows the number, but I'll say it again: 212-815-1932. Now, good and welfare. This week we have three people good and welfare. We have somebody from Transit Authority, Walter Bristol. His wife had a baby, which I guess they had a baby. I mean, because they're the parents. Housing Authority, Victor Stewart. He had surgery. We're hoping him a speedy recovery. And from Transit Authority, Diana Pitt, who's recovering from surgery, and we're hoping the two members who've had the surgery have a speedy and healthy recovery. And we also want to congratulate again Walter Bristol and him and his wife for the new birth, the new addition to their family. And until next Monday, I want everybody to make sure they have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. And you know what? It's 2 days. Overdo it. All right? Have a good one. Until next week, Robert Ajayi.